But if you think he's pissed, he ain't alone. So, I guess the first thing to say, thanks to Frame by Frame, he sent in a paid request for me to watch this film because it was the only way I would see this film. And hey, if anyone wants to send in a request, review, topic, commentary, video game playthrough, comparison, reaction, random type of video, links are down below in the info box under most of these videos. PayPal's usually the best bet. Also got a Patreon. And you see that I'm pretty calm right now, but that's because I'm about to get very, very, very peeved off. And before people type, why is a 40-year-old guy like me getting mad at a kid's film? Understandable reaction, but a few things. Number one, it's a shitty kids film. Number two, I actually do care about these characters. I care about their potential that's been very much untapped for many years. I care that, in my opinion, they were put into the fucking dumpster. Not for the first time, and sadly won't be for the last time. I'm getting sick and fucking tired of it. Maybe because I respectfully, or disrespectfully, whatever you want to put it, disagree with the consensus that this is such a fantastic, best Turtles film ever, gets a 95% Rotten Tomatoes, when his film, which is why he's pissed, gets a 41-42%. You know, people talk about how goofy and silly and stupid Secret of the Ooze is, when there's 10 times the amount of stupid shit in this new movie, but it gets a pass. But the second film, people say it's stupid, it's goofy. What the fuck do you think this film was? By some twat waffle named Seth Rogen. Maybe it's meth Rogen. Maybe it's not weed. Maybe it's meth he's fucking smoking. And let me get this straight. If you like the film, to each their own. If you like the film, to each their own, cool. I'm glad you got enjoyment. Hey, if you're with your kid, you went to see the film, you had a bad day, as the song goes, you had a bad day, maybe you had a bad week, you saw some entertainment, you got some entertainment out of it, cool. I'm not going to hold that against you, that's fine. The only time I get antagonistic is, honestly, I don't really spell this out, is to the toxic positivity people that show up, where if you have grievances, people just go blanket statements instead of actually hearing what you're saying. And hey, if you disagree, that's fine, but all I can say with this film is I don't get what there is to like about it. I'm sorry. Just let me get this straight. We have a Ninja Turtles film in 2023 that has line of dialogue like Leonardo saying, hey, let's go home. Raphael says, how's it feel with your head up Splinter's butt? Then Mikey says, does it smell weird up there? Then Donatello goofs, I bet it smells like cheese and Doritos. If that's not shitty, stupid fucking dialogue, I don't know what the fuck is. I'm sorry, folks, then I give up. And people defend this shit. Well, this is how teenagers talk. They talk like dumb fucks? Then good for them. I was a teenager once. I have siblings. And not one goddamn time did I ever goof around saying, I bet mom and dad's ass smells like cheese or pizza or whatever the fuck else it would be. Gummy bears. Fred Astaire. I don't give a shit what my ass smells like, or what your ass smells like, or what my parents' ass smells like. Joking or not. I never goofed for my friends, whether I'm 18, 15, or 35. I bet, Tom Cruise's ass smells like blueberry. Whatever the fuck. It's stupid. It's fucking dumb is what it is. And what else you got? You got puking. You got 85,000 jokes on milking. Literally melt into the ground, that joke. No, I don't want to melt you. You don't even have nipples. You're not going to milk us, are you? Oh my god, they don't want to milk us. What is the obsession with puking and milking now? But this is, 95% the audience and the critics, and, they take the shit on these fucking films. I find it sad that we're at the 20th anniversary of this show, which became my favorite. I was an 80s kid, born in 83, loved the 80s cartoon, a lot of it for nostalgia reasons, loved the first two live action films, saw this, it did stuff different. It tried to be the comics, but at the same time, it was also different from the comics, was its own thing. And this was damn good. I was impressed. It felt like a progression. It felt like a step forward. This is a fucking regression. And then some. Whether in terms of the ugly-ass animation, and I do think the animation is ugly as fuck. I think it was implemented a lot better in Into the Spider-Verse, which I thought was a good kids film. If you want to call that a kids film. With Miles Morales, that's a good film. And what else he got other than puking and milking and Wonder Splinter's ass smells like Doritos and cheese? We got 18,000 fucking mutants in here that do jack shit. With Armando Gecko, who's 5 steps away from joining Tom Cruise to go to fucking Vegas and count cards, and then he gotta go home because it's 1 minute to walk there. Before they go home, they're gonna go to fucking Kmart. Leatherhead is Australian, okay, and female for no goddamn reason. She does jack shit in the movie. Ray Fillet, because it's Post Malone, he sings like 3 times, and that's all he fucking does. Bebop and Roxy are there as background. For some reason, Seth Rogen, John Cena voice them. They do fucking nothing. Pretty much the mutants are there, and they have a little bit of a car chase with the Turtles. The Turtles make one 30-second speech, at least Leo does. Then they're all good guys, and then they help, along with the humans, the characters at the main end. But if... It's like they went back and they looked at an advertisement for Playmates toys and they said, this toy, this toy, this toy, this toy, shove them in there. There's nothing to them in terms of characters. Just have really shitty, lame-ass jokes. And people go, well, it's a kid's film, Matt. What do you expect? Zootopia is a kid's film. WALL-E is a kid's film. Finding Nemo's a kid's film. Toy Story is a kid's film. How to Train Your Dragon is a kid's film. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, you could call that a kid's film. It's a good one. I have not seen the sequel, but I like the first one with Miles Morales. Like that character, like that movie. That art style just seemed like it worked better in that movie. It just looked more splendid and eye-catching. Here the designs and the characters look fugly, as in fucking ugly. Don't get me started on the Turtles. What? You got Donatello, who sounds like fucking 5 years old. I thought he was a girl. I still wonder if he's a girl. I know it's a guy, but could be a girl, could be a both, could be a neither, could be it/them, fuck/it. I don't give a fuck. Sounded like a girl. Sounded like he was going to be in a future Rugrats reboot. I'm surprised he didn't have a diaper underneath his fucking shell. Mikey, on the flip side, sounds like he's fucking 40. He sounds like a future twat waffle Seth Rogen future stone to fuck with. Raphael sounds like Nelson from The Simpsons. I thought any second now he's going to go ha-ha and pick on the Turtles like he's going to pick on Milhouse and Bart with Jimbo. And he's a fucking douchebag. Do nothing with his character. And Leo, he's probably the best voiced of the 4, but he still came off as a simpy-ass wimp that, has the hots for April, which I don't fucking get because she has a personality of a goddamn cardboard. So, in other words, she has a personality of Amber Turd. She just seems like a fucking bitch. And I'm like, Leo, you could do better. She looks like a homeless fat ass going to take over Whoopi Goldberg in The View. And Splinter, he's just a bigot who looks like his fucking face got smashed in a fucking mousetrap. And by the end, he's having kissy faces, fucking kissing and making out with a female mutant cockroach named Scumbag that are going on fucking dates. I don't give a shit if it's voiced by Jackie Chan. I like Jackie Chan as an action star. Don't really like him as a person. This is the same motherfucker that he threw his fucking 2-year-old kid, like, threw him and fucked him up. Don't believe me? Read his autobiography. He admits he got pissed, took his 2-year-old kid because he was pissed and threw him, and the kid crashed in the couch. And this guy who's cheating on his wives and has an illegitimate kid that he doesn't do jack shit for her. I don't know if it's because she's gay or not, or just because he doesn't like to talk to illegitimate children, but don't fucking have them in the first place, dude. I may like the actor. You know, people say you separate the actor from the artist. Dude, okay, I liked him in his movies. Don't really like him as a person, so I don't give a shit about Jackie Chan. Oh, they're ninjas because they learn from watching kung fu movies and TikTok videos. Or YouTube videos, or whatever the fuck it was. Throw away the fucking origin story, because we want to be different. Well, it's good because it's different. Is that all it takes? If that's the case, then you better love the 2015 Fantastic Four film, because that was pretty goddamn different. But everybody hated the movie, because it was so damn different and, you know, boring. But don't give me that just because it's different phase. See, there's a reason why the backstory is important, because that's why they're called fucking ninjas. Hate to be the bearer of bad news, Mr. Seth Rogen, you twaff-waffle fuckwit, you dumb fuck. You should be banned from animation. Santa's Inc. was an abomination. Sausage Party was one long, hey, you know, a hot dog and a bun could fuck joke for 90 minutes. And then this fucking abomination. And no, I don't know which I hate more, this or the Michael Bay produced bullshit. Because as much I fucking despise those two movies from 2014, 2016, I never know. I don't know if I ever said this about the Turtles in that, which I don't like those Turtles. They're fucking awful designs. But these are ADD, sugar Russian, annoying, dumb fucks who I wanted to be turtle soup. I wanted the bad guys to win. I wanted them to die. I wanted the turtles to die a horrible fucking death and turn to paste. How about you turn into paste, put them on a fucking pizza, and give it to Army Hammer since he likes to eat people anyway. Maybe he'll like to eat turtles as well. Fuck yeah. This is shitty revisionist history bullshit. Just everything about this fucking film sucked hairy, smelly balls. Fucking bullshit. They bring Baxter Stockman for a useless fucking role where he's lonely because nobody likes me, so I had to make a family. A wham, wham, wham. I don't give a fuck. Okay? Watch some fucking Happy Days. I don't know, get some fucking old taste of Sally Jesse Raphael, or get some old taste of Jerry Springer, go to therapy, take a piss test. I don't give a shit. Fucking stupid. And then you have Cynthia Utram, whatever the fuck her name is. I guess she's gonna be the Utram, so that's the aliens, all the stuff that I'm sure Seth Rogen doesn't know jack shit about. He probably read whatever he knew about Ninja Turtles on a fucking napkin. And she's Russian. Of course she's Russian, because Russians are the bad guys again. Just like the 80s. And Stockman's making this ooze. Some bad guys come in. It looks like Stockman was killed, or he's knocked the fuck out. And the ooze falls into the sewers. 15 years later, the Turtles and Splinter are what they are. So there's no Orokusaki. They'll do a Shredder later, but what the fuck is the point is he has nothing, absolutely nothing to do with the backstory. Has nothing to do with the history. Has nothing to do with the legacy. Depending on which one you want to choose. You want to choose that Splinter used to be a human, like the 80s cartoon, or even the 2012 cartoon, or that he was a rat that studied. He was either Hamato Yoshi himself, human that became a rat, or he was a rat that studies Matsuo Hamato Yoshi. The Hamato Yoshi angel is kind of fucking important. It's about as important as the whole Uncle Ben from Spider-Man. It's kind of part of what makes them who they fucking are. See, Seth Rogen and company, Jeff Rowe and all you assholes who made the film, That's why ninja is part of the title. Otherwise, why the fuck are they ninjas in the first place? Let me ask you a question. If they're watching kung fu movies, including like a little bit of Jackie Chan, then why aren't they kung fu turtles? It's like that shitty remake, also with Jackie Chan, speaking of, as a master, as a teacher, I should say. Well, he's teaching him kung fu. But it's called The Karate Kid, because A, it's a remake of The Karate Kid, and B, there's one line of dialogue. Oh, what are you, the Karate Kid? Even though the whole movie's about kung fu. So here it's like, where's the ninja? Why are they ninjas? Oh, you're thinking too much about it. Oh, I'm sorry, it's just part of the fucking title of the fucking movie. And you know what? It would... Maybe to get over all this little itty bitty shit, if the turtles were worth a crap, but they're annoying. And there's people that defend this shit going, well, teenagers are annoying. How is that a fucking upgrade for these characters? How is that a fucking upgrade to this franchise? To have 4 dipshit fuckheads, annoying fucking... I wanted to choke each one of them until the green turns to blue, till it turned to fucking Smurf. And then Gargamel the cook and eat the fucking sorry asses. I hated these 4 fucking assholes. Well, they ad-libbed. Well, then their ad-libbing sucks. Go back to Taco Bell. Or where the fuck. Fuck Taco Bell. This place sucks. Give me Mickey D's any day. Give me McDonald's or give me death. These 4 people, if this is their ad-libbing, you suck. I'm sorry, you are not good ad-libbers. You're about as good ad-libbers as the fucking people in Ghostbusters 2016. Because you annoy me as much as those motherfuckers. Jesus Christ. I'm sorry that Donatello doesn't act anything like Donatello. Nothing about him seems, sounds, or feels like Donatello. Oh, he's a nerd, he's got glasses, and he likes anime. The end. There's like 5 references to Attack on Titan. Raphael is a I wouldn't say useless, but he's just perhaps the worst representation I've ever seen of this character, Raphael. The worst. Yes, I will take Michael Bay's interpretation that he produced. He produced those films. He didn't direct them. I'd rather take that interpretation than what the fuck I saw in this movie. He's loud. That's like one of his fucking things. He's loud. So throughout the film, their mission... That's another thing. They keep making fun of what makes the Ninja Turtles the Ninja Turtles. They take these little snide shots. Like they go out and they have the white eyes and they're being serious and Leo's being serious. And then instead they're looking for gold dirt. And they're making fun of him, making fun of Leo's voice, saying he sounds like Batman. They're making fun of, oh yeah, because I'm an old rat, I turned to an old rat person. And you were baby turtles, so you turned into little baby turtles. Yep, that's how the ooze works. Like, they're making fun of all these snide things of how, well, this is such a silly premise, but we're mentioning it to you because that makes us, quote, smarter. When you do that so many fucking times, it just feels like, then just go make another fucking movie. And don't mess with these fucking characters. How about them apples? I will keep reiterating about how annoying and irritating these 4 Ninja Turtles were. They're not the Ninja Turtles. I would call them the Muppet Babies, but that's an insult to Muppet Babies because they have more maturity on that show than these fucking turds in the wind. So they go on a mission, they steal shit. That's funny, I thought Leonardo was a character about honor and among other stuff. I thought Donatello was smart that he could maybe make shit and they sell shit, all that. You want to modernize it. Maybe Donatello makes shit and sells it on the internet and they make money from that. Hell, even this fucking film... They got the pizza, and at least they gave some fucking money to Kino. So they steal all the shit. Isn't that what the problem was in the first fucking movie? The Foot Clan stealing TVs and shit? Hell, by this logic, these guys, you, would be fucking finding these guys as they're fucking thieves. So, they go out and they watch Ferris Bueller. Because, yeah, you know, people want to talk about how this is just... No. Kids' films are not just for kids. It's for all audiences. That's why they have a lot of jokes that only parents would get. You could call it a kids' film, but it's technically meant for all audiences because, like this movie, how many kids are going to get Ice Cube saying, 6 in the morning, please, at my door? He's referencing an Ice-T song. Yeah, a lot of little kids are going to get the reference of an Ice-T song. Yeah, a lot of kids don't know who the fuck Ferris Bueller is. Because they go to a drive-in, they're on the outskirts, and they see Ferris Bueller's Day Off playing. And you know what? This little teeny tiny nuggets. Granted, it's hammered. It's about as subtle as a goddamn Jack Torrance's axe to the fucking chest. Should have done that Shining. About how subtle is that? And the score, which is actually, I think, from some of the people, 9 Inch Nails, not too shabby, deserves a much better movie. Much better film. And you do talk about, well, what about these films? This is 1990 and 1991. Over 30 years ago. You can't tell me you can't progress and do better after over 30 years. I want you to do better than these. I want you to. People say it did. I don't see how. I don't see where. I'm sorry, I don't see it. I don't see the when the little fuckers are referencing bacon, egg, and cheese on repeat. I guess I'm an old fuck because I didn't understand what the fuck the reference was. I had to look it up. Oh, give me a bacon, egg, and cheese. Give me a bacon. And then Mikey turn around and twerking his ass off. This is like the TikTok version of the Turtles. The way they speak, the way they act, the way they perform. These are all for TikTokers. And I don't give a shit about TikTokers. TikTok your way off a fucking cliff for all I care. Fuck the TikTokers. Fuck TikToking. Okay? The only TikTok I give a shit about is Return to Oz. I'll give a shit about that TikTok. How about suck dick? How about that? How about you suck the dick? They show them as babies, and they're the most fuck ugly babies I've ever seen in my life. Ed Splinter has a fucking afro. So they watch movies like Guy the Kung Fu and a little bit of Jackie Chan. I'm sitting there going, where's the ninja in this? Where's the Japanese culture? That's kind of part of the fucking thing, man. Kind of part of the fucking deal. Sorry. You just throw out and you... You know, there was one comment that I read. I'm so glad that they don't have an origin related to the Shredder and the Foot Clan. Oh, so you mean you're glad that they're not the Ninja Turtles? I'm not saying this is why you liked it, but it seems like a lot of people liked this because they didn't like the Ninja Turtles or what they stood for or who they were. That's what it fucking feels like. So that's where, you know, they go out again after being drowned because Leo's a tattletale. And that's where you get the bit in the trailer where Raph cuts the watermelon and Mikey holds the fucking thing. They use the ninja stars. One of the ninja stars gets into April's helmet. Leo goes gaga over her. I don't know why. I have no idea why. Now, if she was Halle Berry, or if she was Zoe Saldana, or Selma Hayek, or something else, I would understand. But this, again, she looks a homeless fat ass. That would be part of The View. And she has the personality of those fucking people on The View, and that's not a good fucking thing. She's on her phone most of the fucking time. She acts fucking bitchy. She barely acts like she likes the Turtles. Just more of, maybe a little apathetic. Oh, never acts like she really gives a shit about these characters. That's how the performance comes off of. It's a really terrible design on April. I don't know what the fuck their deal was. But I hate the designs of the Turtles. Hey, Donnie's a nerd, so make sure you give him glasses. Just how else would we show him he's a nerd? He's gotta have glasses. He's gotta like anime. Otherwise, how the fuck would we know he's a nerd? Even though that you don't have to be a nerd to like anime, and you don't have to be a nerd to wear glasses, but that seems like their go-to. Raphael, I don't like whatever. He just, of the four, he's the most forgettable, honestly. I'm not saying he does nothing, he throws and does a few stuff, but he just comes off as an annoying douchebag. He comes off as, hey bro, we're gonna get some brewskis, bro, when he turns 30. That'll be him. He'll be Colin Farrell in the Fright Night remake. Fucking douchebag. He sounds like Nelson from The Simpsons, and that just threw me off. It's the worst voice I've ever heard Raphael portrayed. Even the next mutation, with Venus de Milo and her titties, that Raphael felt like a better characterization, a better voice than what the fuck I heard in this fucking movie. Of the four, Leo I could deal with, design and voice-wise, and, the more I think about it, I just feel sorry for Leo, because, hey, he hasn't met a lot of girls, and Sally, this is the first one we're going to gaga over. Trust me, dude, you'll do better. Go find Karai if she exists in this fucking world. Maybe she'll tie you up and have a fricassee on your pee-pee. I don't fucking know. So, April being a dumb fuck where they have to go, hey, someone's stealing your scooter. Hey, sure said, hey, bitch, look behind you. Get your fucking hair out your eyes and your ears. Get your head out your ass. And turn around. Someone's stealing your scooter, you dumb fuck. So then about 5 hours later, she realizes the scooter's stolen. And Leo's like, we gotta go get it. So they walk in, and Raph charges in. They fuck up because it's their first fight. That's where you get the bit where the Psy hits Donnie's leg. Although he never feels it afterward. There's never any moment where he's got to bandage the leg. He just had a fucking Psy in his leg. And then quickly forgotten. Quickly forgotten. But hey, it's a 95% Rotten Tomatoes. And this little movie's only a 41-42%. I mean, this one had a turtle go through a fucking skylight, go to a fucking coma, and the turtles go to a farmhouse to recuperate. And you have that scene where they're around with the campfire and Splinter's, hey, I love you, and they're tearing up. But, this is just, old hat, just nothing. But anyway. Oh, of course, speaking of this movie, the second film. You know what? I love this movie sincerely. It's not just for nostalgia reasons. I like the characterizations of the characters. I like the voice work. I like the suits by Jim Henson. I think it's goofy, silly, kid-like, but very fun movie. It doesn't have to have a bunch of fucking milking jokes. Where one of the first times after the fight, they talk with April, and they're like, "Oh, you don't milk us? No, you don't even have nipples." Because Splinter always kept saying that the humans were going to catch them and milk them. And then when the Russian Utrom, Cynthia, whoever the hell catches them, does milk them in a milking machine. Again, they milked this to the point. And yeah, the puking, April O'Neil is named Puke O'Neil because she was in front of a camera and she puked. This goes on for like 10 seconds. So I'm sorry this film didn't have those. The one thing I hate in this movie was Vanilla Ice and Ninja Rap. I hate that fucking song. I hate that fucking guy. I never liked Vanilla Ice. I love Sleep Through the Ooze. But fuck Vanilla Ice and fuck Ninja Rap is one of the That and the ending with Super Shredder was wasted potential. And there's no secret of the ooze, because they cut the shit out. So there's 3 things I have issues with, but I still love the movie. But fuck Ninja Rap, and of course that gets referenced in this. It can't reference the good songs like Partners in Crime from the first movie, or hell, I'd take fucking Tarzan Boy from the 3rd fucking movie, which I would rather watch that 10 times over this fucking movie. Give me Baltimore, whether that was Tarzan Boy, any day. So of course they reference that during the fight. And they're excited with April and the potential and going, hey, she wants to be a journalist. If we catch the bad guys, people will look to us as heroes. So they're being heroes for their own selfish gain. See, the Turtles was always about, you know what, we live in the shadows, but we want to do the right thing because we want to save people. We don't want people being hurt. People being hurt or terrorized, we want to do it for that. Here, it's, we need to do this for our own selfish reasons. So we'll be accepted and we'll be the cool kids now. If that was done in the right way with a good set of writers, not Seth Rogen, again, Santa's Inc., anybody? Fucked up the Preacher show, because I love the Preacher comic, but I'm not a fan of that show. I think they fucked it up. I'll just go read the Preacher comics again. But anyway, let's see. In this, they do stuff because they don't want people hurt. In this, hey, we'll get famous and we'll get them to the cops and the cops will kneel before us and we'll get to go to school. Just kind of a weird shift in goals and what you really want out of it. And no one gives a shit, apparently, who sees the film. I guess I'm the only person that thinks it's kind of weird that you're going that more of a selfish, goal-oriented thing. But it's Seth Rogen. This is the same fucking guy that... What was that fucking tweet he said? Where a guy got his car broken into. It's like, well, oh well, a tough titty dude, some guy, what the fuck? I couldn't tell because he was fucking weed laugh. If people want to smoke weed, fine. Just don't be a Kevin Smith or a Seth Rogen. If you're Kevin Smith, you'll cry at every other fucking trailer. Apparently he stopped smoking weed. I hope so. And then Seth Rogen, you're just a fucking dumbass. So they're going to do this shit with April. And April's going to film it. And what are your leads? And the dialogue in this is just, let's stop and talk about Mark Ruffalo for 30 seconds. Yeah, it's like in that movie Avengers Endgame, people were afraid of the Hulk. And then, blah, 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 they did this and this. And then he's taking selfies. Mark Ruffalo ad-libbed. I don't give a fuck about Mark Ruffalo because he's a fucking idiot. Mark Ruffalo is a fucking dumb shit. This is a guy who fucking defended a pedo. Not Geppetto from fucking Pinocchio. I mean a P to the E to the D to the O. So fuck him. Give a shit about him. And I love how, if you pay close attention, there's a point where they told April, and April wrote all this shit down. She wrote all these questions she's going to ask the Turtles, and one of them was, well, 2 of them. One was, are you the source of COVID? And the other was, have you caught COVID? In fact, did Turtles get sick? I don't know, if you see Walk and Talk in Ninja Turtles, are there some of the 2 first things you don't fucking ask the motherfuckers? No wonder you're not a journalist, because you suck ass at your job. All these characters go to hell. Fuck all these characters. Or these versions of these characters. Dog shit. And you know what? I don't give a shit that April's black. I give a shit that she's a stupid fucking annoying character like every fucking character in the goddamn movie. That's what I give a shit about. So there's a bit like they go to the high school. April gets them in there when it's after hours, and Donnie nerds out because someone referenced Attack on Titan on a locker. Mikey wants to sign up for the improv comedy class. We don't have last names. I didn't try like, oh, well, how do we have last names? Well, I don't know. If you had Hamato Yoshi, you would have taken his name, either Hamato or Yoshi as a last name, but we gotta throw all that shit in the garbage because apparently that doesn't matter anymore. So Michael has Michelangelo, and then Raph goes, huh, Leo will be Leonardo. And I'm sitting there going, and what the fuck would your name be, numbnuts? Raphael? That's what Leo should have fired back, but he didn't say anything. He said, no, I'm Leon. Okay. Sound better than Raphael. Should have fired back on that. Like, you're one to talk, Raph. But not you. Sorry. See, that's why he's pissed. So I was watching. I explained this shit to him, and he got this way. A moment frozen in time. He left out of the fucking box and went over there and won't fucking leave. I guess until, whatever. I think he's in shock. Fucking movie made him in shock. I don't blame him. So I'll do the talking for him. Make you fun of Leo's name. What about your name, dude? What's your last name going to be? Eel? Raphael. There you go. Raphael. That's where you get the puke O'Neill. And she pukes. Because that's what we need in a Ninja Turtle film. Great. I'm sure in the sequel there'll be farts. Well, actually, there was farts already in the 2014 Michael Bay produced film, which I hated that shit too. Because we need that. Because teenagers are supposed to be annoying, folks. Again, my question is, how's that an upgrade? How's that a benefit? Because that's what Seth Rogen in them, every piece of marketing was, we wanted to make a movie where they're teenagers. They're actually teenagers. We cast teenagers. They ad-lib like teenagers. So they ad-lib like a bunch of annoying tit-talk shitheads. Shit for brains. How is that good? How is that a positive? Instead, it's a reflection of just how much of an idiocracy we're living in. Which I already knew that. This further showcases it. This is your future. Welcome to hell. Bring on the Running Man, please. God damn it. Hey, they're annoying shit for brains. There's a positive? How? Or like there's a bit where when April's explaining stuff, apparently like Superfly, that's Ice Cube's villain name, Superfly. Get it? Because the old movie, Superfly. She mentions how like people Superfly has met have died. Superfly has killed them. And the Four Turtles' reaction is, oh wow, cool. So this guy murdered innocent people and you think it's cool. Raph even says, cool. And Mikey's like going around like, wow. And Leah's like, I'm like, are you four psychopaths? Or just... She just said that this guy probably murdered innocent people and you are going, it's true. 95%. Great writing, apparently. Great characterizations. Jesus Christ. If you love the film, that's fine. But if you want to be butthurt and get pissy at me saying, you're a piece of shit, blah, 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 then explain how that's like that scene alone. The scene where they're talking about sniffing Splinter's ass, what it smells like, even as a goof. The bit where, wow, he killed some innocent people? Cool. Explain how the shit that works. How that works and determine the characters. That they say they don't do a sequel to. That they say they don't do a TV series of. See, and I'll get to more, another reason of the many reasons why I get pissed at this stuff is because A, there's a lot of good kids movies that I already mentioned, from Finding Nemo to Into the Spider-Verse to Zootopia to How to Train Your Dragon. I just saw a film not too long ago called Abominable from 2019. Those characters were teens, and they were a lot more likable and palpable in terms of characters than these four. They didn't look like they were rejects of TikTok. Sound like it. But it's the fact that we rarely get, as a fan, theatrical movies of these characters. The last theatrical film was 2016. That was 7 years ago. Let's say this movie makes the money. Good on you. Let's say they do a sequel. Let's say it's 3 years from now. Okay? Now, if that's a hit, then that's another sequel in 3 years. If that's a bomb, it'll probably be, what, another 7 years before they make a movie? That means regardless, that's going to be 10 years? Let's say this film bombs. It could be 6, 7, 8, 9 years later before you, if you did another movie. And, okay, you want to say this is for kids? Well, I think kids deserve better. It's funny, I talked to a good guy named Rich. I'll give him a mention. He went with his 2-year-old daughter, and she fell asleep. Apparently there's another kid behind him who wanted to leave. So, there's hope for kids today. There's hope. And I'm not saying if you kids like it, they're anything derogatory. I'm not saying that. The reason I'm being overly passionate is because I actually like these characters. I care for these characters. These characters, everyone has that 1, 2, or 3 pieces of media or whatever that helped them out in their life. For me, Ninja Turtles was one of them. As a kid that lived on a farm in the middle of nowhere in Iowa, that only had 4 channels, 2 of them was CBS, the 80s Turtles cartoon helped me out throughout those years of wondering what was going to happen in life. While I'm getting into my high school and you're trying to fit in, the 1990 movie and then the stuff helped me out as well. When I got out of high school, that's about a year later, the 2003 cartoon came out. And believe it or not, as embarrassing this is, people wrote like these fan fictions, and a lot of them sucked, but there was a lot of them that was actually really good stories. Like, wow, you can actually take these characters and make them characters. Which people laugh at that notion, but if I said do that with Batman, no one laughs. If I say do that with Captain America, no one laughs. But if I say it with Ninja Turtles, people laugh. And I think if you actually tried 1 or 2 times to go that approach, hell, what the Batman, the tone of that film with Robert Pattinson, make a Ninja Turtles movie in that tone, and that was PG-13. I prefer R-rated, but if you want to say PG-13, try with that. Try an attempt. It'll fail. How do you know if you haven't tried? I think there's a lot of potential with these characters. I see that there's so much more to do with these characters, and to see them as just irritating TikTok rejects of just forcing every lame joke you could think of. I'm surprised there wasn't a fart joke. I'm surprised there wasn't a piss joke. Splinters and female cockroach mutant making out and going on dates. And again, the fucking milking jokes and the Doritos cheese. That's how Splinter's ass smells like jokes. And April just being an unlikable fucking... It's like she's barely tolerant of the Turtles for most of the film. Barely give two shits. Turtles twerking. Talking about banging egg and cheese. Saying it's cool that Superfly murders someone. You're right, I don't get it. You don't get it. Then you're right. I don't need to get it. Just like STDs, I don't need to get them either. People go, what about the action? I haven't mentioned the action because there's not much action to talk about. There's the one action scene I mentioned where it's their first fight, so they're screwing up a bit. Donnie's bitching that he's got a stick. Why do I have a stick? It's called a bow. Bitch. Maybe when your tail drops and your voice, deepens, and I don't know, you go from 5 to 7 to 10 years old, maybe you'll know a thing or two, Mr. Genius. But I know he's being a fucking annoying ass like everybody else in this movie. There's that scene. There's a montage for about a minute or so where they're checking all these hideouts. And it's all done in kind of like 4 places but done at the same time. So it goes from like them doing maneuvers, but as they're doing maneuvers it keeps changing the location they're in, but the characters are still doing the same move. There's the car chase sequence, and then there's the finale. So no, I would not say there's a lot of ninja action in the film. I mean, again, there's the first one where they mess up. There's the little montage. Car chase is no ninja action, it's a car chase. And then the finale, there's no ninja action because Superfly turns to the size of Godzilla. And they pretty much got to, do some gymnastics to get the fuck up there. So no, there's not a lot of, quote, ninja action in the movie. It's only called Ninja Turtles, but I mean, hell, there's more in one the fucking first episode of this fucking cartoon. I'm sorry, I can't mention that because that's 20 years old. And you give me an episode of Beat Casey Jones or Same as It Never Was, and I'm like, wow, they, you could really do stuff with this, and this is where we're at. Fucking depressing, to be honest. And it's met with thunderous applause. Good on you. I don't give a shit. Well, everybody else likes it. If tomorrow, on the news, it said you need to drink horse piss, it'll strengthen your liver and your kidneys, it'll sustain your life even further and fuller, I believe, you know what? I'll stick to this. Fuck the horse piss. You'll die. Well, I guess I'll die with a smile on my face. Love that Joker. So after it, they go and have a meeting. They find out about Superfly, in person, Ice Cube. And you're introduced to the mutants. There's John Cena's Rocksteady. I don't know if he has more than 5 lines in the movie, which is good, because fuck John Cena. Seth Rogen is Bebop. Again, he may have 5 lines at most. Bebop and Rocksteady do absolutely nothing in this movie. Like, barely anything. Ray Fillet sings, and the joke is stop singing. Rose Byrne is Leatherhead. She says a couple, good night, mate. I'm surprised she did not say shrimp on the Barbie. I'm surprised there was no, that's not a knife, that's a knife. I'm surprised there weren't any of those. Like I said, Mondo Gecko, hey bro, how's it boosty bud? Yeah, he's 1 minute to Wapner. You better get the fuck out, Mondo. Go to Kmart. Wingnut is nothing. There's nothing to talk about. The other people, like, there's a female cockroach who can't speak anything. I know there's a whole thing. Oh, it's a male. No, I understand No, it's a female. They mention it's a female. They mention it multiple times. Does they made Splinter gay? No, they didn't make Splinter gay. Okay, I have a lot of shit to complain about, but nothing to make up. They say in the movie it's female, so there's a lot of fucking shit to deal with the way this movie's written. I'm not big on the art style of the movie. I think it looks ugly as fuck. I say it was done better in Into the Spider-Verse, but here felt like a cheaper version of it, to be honest. Cheaper, uglier version. Well, it's like kids doing their sketches. Oh, great, the shit that would fucking throw away in the garbage. Don't want to look at it for 90 minutes. They hang out for 30 seconds. Mondo and Mighty are at bowling, and the thing that dry your hands. Bebop and Rocksteady show Raphael one of those, like, not punching bags, but the thing you hit to see how powerful your punch is. I'm trying to remember what the fuck else happened. Anyway, Superfly has his plan. The Turtles go like, oh, yeah. They go along with it. They lie. They steal the fucking vehicle. They get in a car chase. They get caught. The Turtles. They're getting milked. And even when they're tied up... So, number one, you stole a fucking bit from the Michael Bay produced film. Remember the 2014 film when 3 of the Turtles were caught and they're getting their blood sucked out? It's the same goddamn scene. Only instead of Raphael coming in and failing, just fuck that movie too, and then April O'Neil had to save the day. Here Splinter comes in to save the day. And when the Turtles are caught, this is a great example of how irritating these fucking characters are. Because Mikey's complaining about he never had frozen yogurt. Leo's saying think of pizza, and Mikey's like, no, I can't think of pizza because I think of cheese. If I think of cheese, I think of milk and milking. And they all start crying like the Rugrats. Fucking babies. Fucking babies. You want to say these are fucking babies? Toka and Razor, these are the babies. Fuck. And then... was it Donatello's like, oh, I wish I could have seen, BST? Or what the fuck? We'll sing a song for you, and they sing this song, and they do a shitty job, and it's supposed to be a joke, only I forgot to laugh. If I had an anal evacuation, it would be more funny than this. Splinter comes in, saves them. Fuck Ugly April comes in. They yell. Splinter yells at April, and honestly, Splinter's in the right. Honestly, I'm thinking like Splinter's kind of in the right in this, even though he's a bigot against humans, he's kind of in the right in this. Like April, you really didn't give a shit, and blah 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 blah. At least it didn't seem like she gave a shit. Technically, she went to get Splinter, to be fair, but. Just her demeanor. I think just the way she's performed, her voice performance, her demeanor of the vibe of the character, the way they animate her reactions and her frumpy ass movements. It just felt like a gaze of don't give a fuck-itis. And then the Turtles go back and get to the mutants, and literally Leo gives like a 30-second speech. Come on, you guys are cool. You don't really want to kill humans. And they buy into it. Even Bebop, even Rocksteady, everybody buys into it because these guys had a 30-second speech. And then, like, Mikey says, yeah, Mondo, you're cool, and blah, blah, blah. And then they all turn on Superfly. Just like that. I mean, you're thinking, okay, it's only the end to the Turtles have to fight. maybe Raph has to fight Bebop Rocksteady, and then Mighty has to fight Mondo. It could be maybe a funny fight or a goofy fight or whatever. And Mondo actually has some skills. He's, you know, hey, you know what would be clever? If the duh was an act. It was an act, and when he gets serious, blah 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 blah. And then it goes back to acting that way. You know, that would have been creative, but no, this movie can't have that. No, they just, all those mutants, they just turn good in 30 seconds. And then all of them and Splinter and everybody gain up on Superfly. They push him to the ooze. He turns as big as Godzilla. April gives a speech on the news. The Turtles are good. There's a battle in the city. The Turtles are being hurt. The humans help Splinter, and the humans start helping. Like it was a fucking scene from Spider-Man 2 or something. Like remember Sam Raimi's Spider-Man? We had the crowd, and no, I will help Spider-Man. You remember they're throwing shit at Green Goblin in the first film, or in the second film. You want him? You gotta get through me. That's really what they did, and I'm sitting there going, like, God damn, I know they're young, but they're in first fucking movie, and they need help, not just from the other 55 mutants, but from the humans or delivery guys as well. At least in Secret of the Ooze, Tino went to the Turtles. By the end of the fucking film, the Turtles could handle their own goddamn business. In the first film, the Turtles could handle their own goddamn business. Casey helped a little bit. But goddamn, man. So they get this anti-mutagen. They both throw it around to get to the spot they need. Boom. Done. The humans love them. And they're going to high school now. Like a shitty UPN show. Or CW show. TMNT, the high school years. Yeah, that's what I want. I want the Turtles to be complaining about, bitching about homework in gym class and whatever the fuck else. What? The sequel's gonna be Donnie getting a wedgie in fucking school? Raph stealing some steroids, lifting weights for the football team? And Tree Williams, God rest his soul, come in to beat the shit out of him. He's a substitute. Since Tree Williams Sally passed away, get Tom Berenger. There you go. He'll be the substitute. Beat the shit out of this Raph. School's out, motherfucker. Leo get no goodies from April, and then maybe Leo can find a better chick, and he goes out with her, and then April gets jealous, maybe, or not. Because I think Leo could do better. Now that you can go to prom, believe me, Leo, you can do better. Fuck that bitch. You can do better. Find a Halle Berry. It's a teacher. Well, go hot for teacher. I don't give a fuck. You're a turtle. Fuck it. Literally and figuratively. And so, yeah, they go to the prom, and Splinter's out dating with the female mutant cockroach. And I'm like, the story of the Turtles are over. Well, no, because there's the Utrom, Cynthia, whatever, tossed to her associate, Shredder. Dun dun dun. And I'm sitting there going, yeah, but the Turtles, like, part of the thing of the Turtles was that they live in the shadows. The tragedy part of them is that they can never go out into the light. Maybe one day, if they get a lucky break and they're 30 or something, but that's part of the basis of the Turtles. Not just that they're ninjas, which is that's the stuff me and kids liked about them, is that they were ninjas, that they were badasses, they could kick ass. Even in a nullified way like the 80s cartoon. People forget that the first 6 episodes, I mean, it was the 80s cartoon, like, it was a kids show, but they felt a little bit more, in a weird way, serious compared to later on, of course. Like the first 6 or so episodes. But that was the thing, is that they can't. Because that's the thing. If that's the case, if they could just go to school and prom, why would Raph ever be angry? He could get laid if he wants to. I mean, there's some freaky deaky people out there. They'll probably meet a bunch of furries who will have a field day with them. No disrespect if you're a furry. Teach their own, as long as you're not hurting anybody. Be my guest. But in the world of 2023, yeah, there's going to be a bunch of there's probably furries in this school. They're going to have a field day with them. So them getting laid ain't going to be a problem. In fact, for some, it's going to be top priority. They're accepted. People like him. And like all of them. Donnie, why does he have to be a medic? They just rush the characters to a hospital now. To a doctor. Or a veterinarian, however. Does they even make the joke to Splinter? Do you need to go to a doctor or a veterinarian? So Donnie never needs to be a medic. Donnie, I mean, I guess he could invent like the crazy shit, but he doesn't really have to fix anything in their home. They could just go to Home Depot or some shit. Mikey doesn't have to put on a fake smile because, like, this is like what part of what makes these characters who they are as individuals. And to be honest, Donnie, Mikey, and Raph, they're at times so inconsequential in this movie. Like, it felt a little bit more Leo show. Like, he had a little bit more different dynamic compared with the other three. The other three at times felt almost interchangeable. It really did. So you just threw away what made them what was the basis of these characters. Why is Raph so angry? Why is Mikey having a tendency for jokes? Because he knows his families are in deep shit and that they're sad and depressed, and he wants to find some light at the end of the tunnel for his family. Why is Donnie killing himself being a medic? Because they can't just go to a fucking doctor. And, you know, they have to get medical supplies as secretly as they can and all this other shit. He has to work on to, you know, fix the fucking heating and all this stuff he has to do. Now all they have to worry about is fucking school. In fact, because there is no backstory, there's no revenge. You need revenge to kill my master, or our sensei's master. Or if our sensei was Hamato Yoshi, what happened to him and his wife? I didn't even mind in the 2012 cartoon when Karai was actually Splinter's daughter. When he was human, and then when he turned to a rat, Shredder took Karai and made him think it was his daughter. I actually don't mind that idea. All this out the window. So what fucking reason do they need to fight the Shredder or the Foot Clan or need to do anything? They just go to school. Like there is no revenge angle to. There's nothing. Unless they're just going to do a fucking, I don't know, Spider-Man Homecoming type of bullshit. Since that also referenced Ferris Bueller's Day Off as well. Like, all this stuff, and it's hard for me to fully showcase it in my verbiage, so I apologize if it's confusing to people. But it's just, a lot of these fundamentals of the characters you just throw into the garbage. And then what? This is going to get sequels and spin-offs, and this is the direction you're going in? I don't see, again, I don't see the benefit of that. I don't see the upgrade of that. I don't see how that furthers these characters or this franchise. This was a TikTok rejet of a movie. This was a Ninja Turtle film for the TikTok generation. It was irritating. It was ADD, sugar rushed, irritating, ugly, lousy jokes, terrible writing, lackluster action when action did happen. I probably give the montage because it was well choreographed, how you want to put it, where they're doing all these moves, but the backgrounds keep changing. I'll give you that scene in terms of, the way it was drawn. But other than that, even the music, I was not a fan of the music of the songs, I should say. The story was fine. I do the story, Nine Inch Nails. I forget the names, but the songs used, I hated. I did not like any of the songs used. Whether it be in the montage scene, I think for me the songs were absolutely terrible. Ice Cube is whatever. I mean, eh. The movie's like 90 minutes, so I guess I should be thankful it's not, over 2 hours long. But with all these mutants trying to fit into less than 90-minute running time, you do feel that there's not a lot of room for other stuff to breathe and develop. And I'm not going to say these two films are fucking Shakespeare and that there's no flaws and these are flawless movies. No, there are flaws in both of these movies. And these are childhood favorites of mine, but there's flaws in these movies. I'll admit that. I don't give a whole lot of fuck about Danny, the kid in this movie. The ending with Super Shredder is wasted, and like I said, the fuck Ninja Rap. There are flaws in this, but I got much more heart and sincere fun out of those. And again, those are from over 30 years ago. With the way movies are today, and technology, and what we've seen done with other characters, whether it be when they made Iron Man and the Captain America movies and the Batman stuff, there's a lot more you can do with these characters, and this was close to the bottom of the barrel. At least for me. I would never watch this film again. And I hated these iterations of these characters. They were so goddamn annoying. So goddamn irritating. And I just do not see what's likable about Pipstreet McGwee named Donnie. Again, when your balls or your tail drop, sound like someone took a pair of pliers into his cloaca and squeezed it to get that fucking voice that high. Sound like a baby. And then Michelangelo, his voice was just so off. I'm just repeating myself. So yeah, fuck this movie up its ass. And it can kiss my ass. There's a lot of good animated films. There's a lot of good kids films. There are actually good films in general. And the fact that this gets the constant praise, I just don't get it. Just don't get this generation. I don't get it. But this year's been a really shitty year. I liked Extraction 2. I didn't mind Renfield, although Aquafina, I'll stick with the water because she sucked. But Extraction 2 I liked, and Renfield I didn't mind. Creed 3 I actually didn't mind, believe it or not. Missing, kind of related to Searching with John Cho. Missing I didn't mind. Super Mario Bros. Movie I didn't mind for what it was. The Super Mario Bros. Movie I thought was harmless fun. This almost want to apologize to the 2017 TMNT film. I have issues with that film still, but that was a much better animated film than this. Even though Leo was a dickhead in that movie. But that's another film that didn't have its potential nearly reached. But you know what? It could have been a step in the right direction compared to what I see here. Just needed better writing and I think a better director. But anyway. I still have issues with that film, but that film is masterpiece compared to this one. So, with that said, thanks for watching. Later.